So, Rachel, how are you? We've interrupted your break. How was your day? How are you
Yeah,
looking?
day's going really well actually. Yeah, I'm feeling really good.
Perfect. So, welcome everyone. We are at Shift Happens podcast by Romanian Testing Conference 2023. We are interviewing some of the participants, and we are here today with Rachel. Thank you for doing this. So, who is Rachel? Who are you? Are you a tester? What is your involvement in the IT world?
Yeah, so I'm a senior test engineer based back in the UK, but I traveled to Romania to check out this conference because it looked really good. Yeah,
Is it your first time in Romania?
first time in Romania.
So it was Romanian Testing Conference that brought you first time in Romania. How is it? How did you decide to choose the conference? There's a whole bunch of testing conference all over Europe. So
Yeah, the itinerary looked really good. I liked the speakers that were coming, and I liked the workshops as well. They looked really interactive, and it looked like it would improve my testing just in general if I partook in some of those. So I was really excited to do it.
I really love to hear that because it's one of the targets we have at this conference. It's not only about hearing some speakers on the scene, but you also have 2 days of workshops, and we want people to learn something and be inspired. And why not try the things that they found about here back in their organization? So, is this something that you're gonna do to like?
Yeah, I mean, what I learned yesterday in storm testing was really really helpful. I'll probably bring that into like my organization and try to change the approach that we have in testing, especially at the beginning of projects, and try to engage with different departments, and we got a proper strategy as to how to do that. So I'm excited to implement that.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you mentioned this. I know I had a lot of discussions with my fellow engineers. I'm a developer, but with an eye on testing all the time, or at least I try to do it. And we're always discussing about conferences and what could be an impact. And there are some voices that say, conference it's only waste of time. You cannot learn something in a conference. So you can say quite the opposite. It's really useful to be here. And so you had the workshop yesterday. Today also you have plans for a workshop. And
Yeah, I've got a couple of workshops planned between yesterday and today, and then we have a few keynote speakers for the rest of the conference that I'm looking forward to. But personally, for me, I learn really well audibly. So when I am listening to somebody teach concepts and put activities together, that's probably the best way for me to learn.
Yeah.
So when my company said, you can kind of like develop learning and development, I was like, reading a book is probably not going to be the best way for me
Okay.
to learn. That's why I think there's a bit more value for me in in kind of like software conferences, because I'm not just kind of theoretically learning it. I'm learning it practically, and I can ask
Yeah.
questions and ask in ways that I can apply these concepts. So I think having that human feel of learning is my preference. So I think if people also learn like that, I think it's worth coming out.
In the world of AI lately, you are the one that enjoying the human feeling of learning,
Yes.
right?
Yes, as much as I love software and software development, I still like the human interaction, and I think we shouldn't lose that as well.
Great, great. So our theme this year is enabling change. What I'm sure you've experienced some sort of change in your life, personal or professional. What were the challenges that you faced so far? How do you prepare yourself to embrace the change that comes into your life?
I think change is part of life, and it's part of it's a key. I think change is a key part of success. And I don't think anyone can be successful without change, because life is evolving. And if you're not evolving with it, you're going to get left behind. And if you're not developing your skills, developing your personal attributes to deal with challenges, you're not developing and evolving into what's new. If you're not changing and if you're not evolving, you are going to get left where you stopped changing.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be part of the tomorrow's reality of, like, maybe if it's software development, you're not going to be part of the new software. You're not going to be part of a good job in the future. Like, you need to be evolving, you need to be moving with the times, because if you're not, then you're going to be using technologies people were using 10 years ago and you're not using
True.
what's being relevant today.
Yeah, you have to stay relevant. Yeah, that was perfect, Sarah. So I think it will be really an inspiration for all our viewers what you just mentioned. Yeah, thank you for doing this. Um, is there anything else that you wanna add that we didn't ask you? Would you recommend the conference for the others? I think it's quite clear that you do. You already mentioned that you really had good learnings already in the first days. But is there anything that you wanna share with our viewers? Any other ideas that you wanna tell us?
Yeah, I think personally, I am an advocate for learning and development. And if you can find some time to come out to a conference like this, then you're not going to leave the same in terms of how you think, how you view your ways of working and things like that. It will be challenged, whether you come and agree with everything or whether you disagree with something and you go, actually, I think the way I do it is actually better because I've compared what I've learned, and then that way you can be more confident in what you're doing. Or maybe you can challenge the way you're thinking and think, oh, maybe I've not been doing it that well and I need to evolve and do something different. So either way, it will be beneficial, and I think it's good to take some time out of work and do something that refreshes you and gives you a bit more of a vim and an effort and kind of like refreshes your mind. Then that way you can go back and kind of refreshed and provide a bit more energy to the team, because I think work can become very monotonous, and if you don't take a pause and do something like these conferences and learn something new and challenge the way you're viewing your career and career development, it's just not that beneficial to, like I said, your success. You need to invest into your career, and part of that is coming out to these conferences.
And it's about getting out of the box, like these days after the pandemic, and everyone gets into its own box and everyone is working at home.
Yeah.
And there's no way we can have progress without having debates, without having maybe contrary ideas. That there's no way, if we all stay in our boxes, we can get progress, of course. And I understand that you actually see learning as a key towards this progress.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially if you're working from home and you are your own, maybe say you're the only tester on a team and you work from home, where are you going to get new ideas? Where are you going to get somebody who's going to challenge the way you're doing something? You're probably not providing that much value to your team if you're not bringing new ideas. And where are you going to find that in any other better way other than in a testing community, right? So yeah, I think it's really important to, even if you want to go abroad like I did from the UK, then it's really good because you can come and see how they're doing things in another country. Or maybe actually it's really interesting because there's other speakers from other countries here, so it's kind of like a mix of like different perspectives, but then you realize that the industry standards are probably all the same, which is really good because you're hearing speakers from the US and some speakers, I think, from various different countries in Europe as well, which is really good because then you can have that confidence that, we're all doing the same thing, we're all on the same page, and you kind of disperse back to your teams and with that confidence, really.
Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that, because it was one of the main goals of the organizers of the conference, to build a community and to bring here a platform where every participant can can ask questions, can have each other being heard by the others, including with this podcast and our initiative to let the speakers tell their stories, but also we really wanted to hear the stories of the participants, and we really loved your story today. So thank you for doing this. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you everyone for watching us. I was Alex Mochoi, podcast host. Shift Happens, Romanian Testing Conference 2023 will be soon on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, will be on YouTube. So check out soon and see you in the next episode.